Hi, welcome back to The Vision Within. It's January 6, 2018. And I'm Lisa.
Loretta.
I'm Lori.
And I'm Katrina.
And thanks so much for joining us again. This is our last segment for the day. And we're going to talk about a really interesting topic, the concept of everything's a message.
I think that's a strong concept.
So who wants to start?
Well, I'll just kick us off by saying, I think our dreams and our waking dreams or waking visions or perceptions bring us all kinds of interesting messages. And being open to those is important because sometimes they bring really great things into our lives or really great awarenesses. And I love the idea of dream interpretation. It's a topic I'd like to delve into a little bit more deeply and would like to check out more this year. But I know you were sharing that you had an experience around talking to someone at a party recently about some dreams that you were having. Would you feel comfortable talking about that?
Oh, sure. So it was very interesting. They were saying that their approach was that everything that is a noun, a person, place, or thing in your dream is an aspect of yourself that is presenting itself. And so when I started looking at that, because I've had bizarre dreams, just some really bizarre dreams lately, but when I applied some of that, then it made some more sense. So this could sound wild, but like one thing that I had, it was, we have snow here, it's cold, very clear night, I'm standing out in the snow, but yet it was almost as though I was the observer, I wasn't feeling cold or anything, I was simply in the snow, and I was at a house I was familiar with, but don't really know the people that well. And the person is leaving, it's dark, they don't see me, I'm standing there, but I'm wearing pants, no top. And it's like, all right.
Wait a minute, let's get specific. Anything under the top that you're wearing?
No.
No top.
Completely bare on top.
Yes.
Completely bare.
Right.
Okay,
Are you
I just
cold?
want to get the visual.
No.
Oh.
No. And what I was thinking is that it was almost as if I was, my feminine side was feeling vulnerable. And there was a male person leaving the house. I wasn't seen, but somehow I was feeling vulnerable in my femininity, But anyway,
Wow.
So start off with how we even got on this topic, because you saw someone in the here and now.
Oh,
Right.
Right. So
During our intermission break.
Right.
Yeah, during intermission break. So I am intuitive, and I see things and images, and I can feel certain types of energy, as most of us here do. But I was seeing a grandmother type of woman that was here, and I think I saw somebody earlier standing next to you as well. So we started talking about, these, these our loved ones that have passed on, can sometimes come back and visit us to offer guidance. They help watch out for us. They sometimes come and give us energy when we're vulnerable and we need a certain type of energy, or a certain type of elements in our lives. So we just started getting on to that, and dreams and how everything's a sign. And I think we just, it's almost like potluck. We ended up with a potluck conversation. Yeah,
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
So I have this interesting recurring dream that I will just share, and I have it sleeping, and sometimes I get glimpses of it when I'm waking, and I'm not quite sure what it is. So perhaps you guys could give me some insights or thoughts. I have this image of myself getting up in the middle of the night, and I don't live where I live now, and it's winter, and and I live kind of in a wooded area, and there's snow on the ground, and there's snow and ice on the trees, and they don't have any leaves, and I can see the moon is huge and full and bright, and it's almost lighting everything. It's almost like a supermoon, and there are a lot of stars, and I have on a long white cotton kind of a gown, and I can feel the cool, crisp air, and I open the door of my bedroom, and I walk out. And I go out walking, and I'm like mesmerized by the moon, and I go out walking, and I'm sort of looking around, and the scene is sort of like even though it's in the middle of the night, it's like clear, crisp. I can feel the cool air. And I remember thinking, I wonder why my feet aren't cold. And I look down and I'm in my bare feet. And I'm noticing that my feet aren't in the snow. And I turn around and look, and I've left no tracks in the snow. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. And then I look up at the moon again, and I wake up, or it ends. So I'm not quite sure what that's showing me. I don't feel freezing cold, although I know that it's cold outside and the air feels crisp, but it feels really good and invigorating. And I, make the perhaps faulty assumption that I am as I am now, or very close to that, because I look down, my hands look the same. I look very much the same as I do now. My feet look the same, so I don't feel like I've aged at all. But it's just this beautiful dream, and nobody follows me out. Like, I'm not aware of any animals or energies or anything else. It's just this really beautiful, peaceful, amazingly connected dream. I feel very connected to the earth. I feel connected to the moon. I feel connected to everything. It's just the interesting part for me is looking down and noticing, my feet aren't cold. They're cool, but they're not cold. And why aren't they sunk into the snow? I turn around and look, and no tracks.
So so you talk about the white nightgown, and you talk about the moon, which is white, the white light that it casts, everything, the
and the
white
snow's
snow,
white.
and the fact that you did not make any track in the snow. I see something to do with like a purity, right? So there's something, there's something about a purity, whatever white, purity would come into mind. That's what's coming to mind.
And you're not leaving anything behind with the footsteps, the tracks.
Oh.
The tracks would be leaving something behind. You're
present.
fully, wholly contained. Everything's within us. And, obviously you were astral traveling in real time since you were the same age and everything.
Right.
But what I find the most interesting is you left all the worries of the future and the sorries of the past behind, and you were in this tranquil, beautiful, light and bright place.
It felt amazing.
Yeah.
It felt amazing. And I've had dreams before that, like flying dreams. Have you guys had flying
Yeah,
dreams?
yeah.
Yeah, I've had flying dreams before, and those feel really good. I haven't had those for a long time. And the reason that this particular instance stood out to me so much is because I don't remember my dreams very often anymore. So when I do, it's when they do make it into my conscious mind, it's pretty profound. It's pretty marked.
Yeah, but I've always heard and read that if it's a dream that's a message, it's going to stick with us.
Right.
If it's just a dream because our subconscious is cleaning itself out, then we're not going to remember it.
Yeah. So getting back to everything's a message, maybe even the cleansing is, but the ones that we want to bring into this reality while we're awake is going to be a strong message to do something with it in our awake state.
So I am hearing, because the air was so crisp, and there's snow is crystals. It's like there's a sound in the crystals that even though it just feels crisp, like I'm hearing messages in that, and it has to do with the crystalline body.
Yeah.
And that somehow just being in the air is doing something with the crystalline body, putting your crystalline body in resonance with the crystalline structure of the snows and all the white, somehow calibrating, maybe a calibration.
Yeah, I like that. And there's a lot of femininity in your dream
Right.
because you're a female.
A
and
gown
the moon's a
and-
female. Or we say the moon is feminine.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
the feminine energy.
The
Yeah.
white,
Interesting.
the gown,
Wow.
yeah. It's awesome.
It was pretty cool. And like I said, I get glimpses of it when I'm awake. Like I'll see the
To
moon.
remember.
Or yes, I'm being given these little nudges. So I don't know if it's, a couple segments ago we did something on, how we release the old and how that can come up in, you know, foods and thought processes and emotions and all of that. So maybe it's about what I'm hearing
the power
and
of
feeling
now.
Right.
is that, yeah, absolutely, the power of now.
Right.
And it feels like an overall purification.
Right. Yeah. Power of now. So I think you answered your own question.
Right.
Perhaps.
Wanting to be, or getting a glimpse of how it feels to be in the power, in the now, and pure.
Well, and I think the more that we wake up, you know, as we've talked about time and space before, and that how when you are very present, you're aware of the past, the future, and everything all being in the now, and that it's all happening now. And I think the more that our cellular memory wakes up, we start recalling events from dreams or something from when we were young. But now it's almost like I was seeing an old movie play where it was hazier in those old reels. And now we've got HD. And so the picture is broader,
Right.
and it's crisper, and we can see more that was present. Like I remember having a very vivid recurring dream of me standing by my window as maybe 4 years old looking out at my sandbox, and big full moon too, clear night. And I've been revisited by that dream lately, but now I'm aware of apparitions around the sandbox, and I'm aware of what I was wearing. Like I could paint my bedroom. I have much more crispness, what was going on, what time of day, all of it. So I think it's kind of like the winks and nods too. We're just being gifted these little validations, or, you know, that, hey, it's okay. You're seeing more. It's normal.
Yeah.
It's like fleshing out things.
What's been coming up for you in dreams?
This is going on for the last couple of weeks, but basically, I see this man, and but he doesn't have a face. I mean, it's not like an unknown stranger kind of no face. The face is like distorted, and you know, and I don't feel threatened or anything like that.
Sure.
And it's certainly not a romantic kind of a dream. But I looked it up on the Dream Dictionary, and it's because the meaning of that dream, when you see something like with a distorted face or whatever, is when you're struggling with what your own identity is.
Whoa.
I know.
Does
Yeah.
that resonate
I mean,
with you?
Well, yeah, because you know, I'm trying to, you know, so you know,
let go of the old and.
Yeah, I mean, my identity, as far as, you know, what am I going to do with these gifts that I have, the spiritual gifts, and what I'm supposed to go move forward, you know, and you know, as we've already talked about this before, but you know, the last couple of years, I mean, became divorced and empty nester, and now I'm a grandmother, and so really, who is Loretta Ramsey? You know, who is this person? And so it's really kind of on point for me, actually.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really beautiful.
I know. Well, it was really kind of, you know, because it was so connected.
Yeah.
You know, with what I've been going through.
What if every dream and every message we receive is a message just to remind us of who we really are?
Right.
Like the message of your dream was to remind you that you are this pure light.
Yeah.
And that's what we really are. And the
Either that or they were saying, clean it up, girl.
yeah, and the message, maybe the message in your dream was, Loretta, you can let go of that view, that distorted face. What was it again?
I'm trying to find, finding the identity.
Right. And because the person you really are is pure light and love, and you're gravitating more toward that. The message in the dream was, you can let that go, and bring in the real you, the authentic you. So that's what I'm kind of seeing.
Have you had any dreams lately that you're?
Well, interesting that you ask. I dream. It seems like all night long, and I remember them a lot when I first wake up, and sometimes I, like you will remember them days later, or I still remember them as clearly as if they happened, which seems to get me front and center, like, oh, there's a message here. I can't, since 2018 happened, I can't identify anything that specifically pops out, except that all my dreams starting in 2017 have been around a theme, a lot of them anyway, of going through portals and, being the magicians we really are.
Wow.
The unlimited, that's what might have been. It's just so strange. It's like, oh, well, that's so easy when you're dreaming. And it's like a mathematical equations of sacred geometry going through all these portals, telling me how to do it.
So what I'm getting is that you know how we're talking about radio channels. So
right.
if we can change our frequency at will,
Yeah.
and we can dial into any time frame or whatever.
Yeah.
So if we need to be really strong,
Yeah.
right, we can dial that person who maybe is 20 years ahead of us,
Oh.
who has already completed whatever, and we can just tune into their channel and bring it in. So kind of like there's a great TED talk on fake it till you become it,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah,
by
yeah.
changing your thing, and they've done all this research, you put on a power pose for 30 seconds, and all these people the majority of them were getting their job, just by changing their power pose.
Yeah.
But I think part of the realizing that the now is
Forget
past,
yoga, do your
present,
power pose.
and future is
Yeah.
all happening now. I think the more that we remember that we can literally jump through any portal, any time thing, and change our channel, we're literally reprogramming and changing the frequency of our DNA in that moment, live time.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, my God, how powerful.
It's really
I mean,
powerful.
that's pretty crazy.
So maybe understanding and moving through portals is allowing you to tune into whatever possibility
Yeah.
would allow you to have greater understanding in the now,
And how it feels.
to bring it
Because,
back with you.
right, once
Yeah.
once we can feel it and know what it felt like, oh yeah, I can tap that feeling again.
Yeah.
Or, that was like what I felt like when I ate a triple ice cream cone. Or,
Yeah, but the dreams I'm
We
having are the
acknowledge
mechanics behind it.
Okay.
Oh,
The mechanics.
Hmm.
It's
Isn't that cool?
yeah, it's just been tons and tons since 2017.
Huh.
And when I wake up, I can't remember the math or the
Sure.
the
It's not
science
quite
behind
time
it.
yet.
Right.
well, maybe that's the part that doesn't serve you. Maybe the fact that you've done it, the reminder that you can do it, and that you can bring back with you anything that you want.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a beautiful reminder. We have a few minutes left. I would like to bring up a really interesting but related topic. So if everything is a message, we all have pets. I know that my dog dreams.
Oh.
And she has quite vivid dreams because she runs in her sleep and barks and wags her tail and does all kinds of stuff. And so if everything is a message and animals interpret in ways that are different from ours, and I feel like in some ways broader because they aren't attached to outcomes and they are almost always in the moment,
Right.
fully present, what do we think that dreams mean for animals?
Yeah, and that is so wild and crazy that you would say that, because I was just thinking before I came here, when I was staying on the water last year and I was going to sleep listening to whale music, and I woke up very much in my dream state, like a lucid dream, and it was my dog's dream.
Oh
I
wow.
was in my dog's dream.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
And she was leading all of these animals that had been oppressed and kept in it looked like an island off there, and they were in, and she was leading them out. And I thought, what in the world? But then if you think about, Carrie's, if they're all aspects of that, and I was tapping into leadership, or what have you, leading out oppressed, or I was unlocking that. But I don't know. So do you see her dreams, or do you ever think about?
That's really interesting that you would say that because I never thought about tapping into her dreams
See where she's going.
and see where she's going.
Yeah.
I think I think about 50% of them. Sometimes when she gets real active,
Yeah.
I'll say, "Okay, Puff, Hi, okay, sweet
yeah.
dreams,
Yeah.
baby. And it takes her a minute to come out of it.
Yeah.
Like she is deep.
Oh, yeah.
And there are other times when she's laying there and I hear her kind of going, boof, boof, and her tail's flapping because she lays on a pillow next to my pillow, and I hear thump, 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 thump,
Yeah,
thump.
yeah.
So I know she's really happy, and
Yeah.
I just sort of let that ride.
Yeah.
And so, or one of her foot, one of her feet's moving, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, you right, here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
But I let her go because I know
Yeah.
that she's enjoying that moment, whatever that is for her. But it's interesting. I wonder about tapping into dreams with your animals.
Because
And
people
Yeah.
are doing it with each other.
yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever done that
We've
before?
all had
Tapped
shared
into
dreams.
Bear's dreams or your kitty's
No.
dreams?
No.
Do they dream that you've observed?
I don't. Well, I'm sure they do, and I know with Bear he does. He starts to do the little whimpering or whatever.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
actually sleeps on the bed too, and I just need to reach over and put a hand on
Yeah.
on him. But I think the animals have, happiness and they have anxiety, and they relive certain things, and
Yeah.
so I think that that's probably part of their dream. I also think that because they're so pure in spirit, that they probably go to different planes when they're
I agree.
sleeping, and they're
Right.
running into people
Right.
that are good to them on these
That's
different
right.
planes. And so I
Right.
think it's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, I mean, it
Fun.
wasn't really a dream for me. I didn't think it was. I thought I was awake, and my cat at the time jumped on my bed and comforted me because I was having a kind of an out of body experience that I wasn't really wanting to do. And I said, well, I don't know how he got there because I had closed the basement door because he was whining at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I guess there were a lot of
Yeah.
apparitions, around,
Yeah,
and,
yes.
or trying to give me a message, maybe. And so he comforted me, then left. And the next morning, and it was all physical. And the next morning, he was still downstairs.
Oh, wow.
He never had been there. So we were tapping into the same metaphysical out of body experience or
Energy.
something. But getting back to everything's a message, we didn't really talk about it, but I just wanted to say that, everything you guys say to me is a message.
Sure.
An aspect of me scripting something that I can
Sure.
take it or leave it or be discerning.
Yes.
And I feel like the internal guidance I receive is more of a message that I really should pay attention to, or the experiential dreams are more of a message that I should pay attention to first. But that everything you all are saying is a message to me.
Absolutely. Because we create our lives and we create our realities, and we can, there's so many possibilities in every message. I think this is a topic, even though our time has come to a close, this is a topic I'd like to revisit a little bit,
Yeah.
because I think there are some other branches on this tree that would be good for us to explore together and kind of talk about. And I think that probably our viewers have some questions about how everything's a message might come up in their lives. And so I just thank you for joining us today and allowing us to explore this possibility. We promise we'll come back to it in a future episode. But for the time being, I'm Katrina.
I'm Lori.
Loretta,
And I'm Lisa. Thanks for joining us.
thank you.
Thank you.